Howdy again everyone, and today it's mirror lens time. It's been years since I last tested one of these. What you see before you is the Tokina SZ 500mm f8. It is a full frame mirror or catadioptric lens. It is manual focus. It has a built-in T-mount, which means you can adapt it onto virtually any camera body with the right adapter, and Tokina can supply you with that adapter, and it costs $400 for a 500mm manual focus lens. That's okay value for money, although if you're willing to go second hand, you can certainly find cheaper mirror lenses than that over on eBay. But anyway, I'd like to thank Tokina for sending me a copy of this lens for testing, although as usual, this is a totally independent review. Mirror lenses are interesting but pretty niche optics. They allow you to have a long telephoto reach, such as 500mm, in a very small lens body, which is also lightweight. This one weighs only 310 grams without the mount adapter. They're also a lot less expensive than a more conventional 500mm or so lens. Their disadvantages are well known. They are almost always manual focus only lenses, such as this one, which can be tricky, and also they are well known for having rather soft image quality, and we'll see about image quality in a minute. Let's start though by looking at build quality. This lens's body is very well made, tough and metallic, while also managing to be lightweight due to the smaller than usual glass elements inside of it. Make sure you order the lens with the appropriate T-mount adapter for your camera system. Here I have one that's designed for Nikon Z mount mirrorless cameras, although Tokina make them for all kinds of different systems, including digital SLRs. The camera mount itself isn't all that well designed though, in that it can come loose from the adapter's metallic tube. You should keep a tiny flathead screwdriver handy to tighten it up again from time to time. The lens's only control point is the rubberized manual focus ring, which comprises half of the lens barrel itself. The focus ring turns fairly smoothly, but also fairly heavily, although that heavy turning is actually quite important, as it does not turn very precisely. It only turns around about 100 degrees, which is quite disappointing because that makes it quite tricky to focus. You can get there, you can get it in focus with a little patience, although it would be far easier if you set it up on a tripod. Some good news though is that the lens does not really suffer from any focus breathing, as you can see here. You can also see some unusually shaped bokeh, more on that a bit later. The lens is not weather sealed and does not feature any kind of image stabilization. It does come with a very deep metallic lens hood, which could be quite useful to use in critical situations. Its front filter size is 72mm. Overall, it's quite typical build quality here for a mirror lens. It's very tough, small and lightweight, although I really wish its focus ring turned a little further than just 100 degrees. Anyway, let's take a look at image quality. I'll be testing it on a full frame camera, my 45MP Nikon Z7. This lens has only one focal length and one aperture setting, so when it comes to this segment of the video, like Henry VIII said to each of his 6 wives, I won't keep you long. In the middle of the image, picture quality is soft with low contrast, although admittedly some good basic clarity is still to be captured here, and the lens shows no colour fringing. The corner image quality is about as sharp, which is good, and oddly, there is just a little more contrast in the corners. I have noticed this before on some mirror lenses though, that they have mildly better image quality in the corners, and what's notable, again in those corners, is the lack of chromatic aberration. Overall, well, although the picture quality is somewhat soft, this is actually a slightly better performance than usual for a mirror lens, especially considering that we're working on a pretty demanding 45MP camera here. It's still a mirror lens, but also it's a tiny bit sharper than I expected. Okay, let's look at distortion and vignetting. You can see here that the lens projects some moderate pincushion distortion and moderate vignetting too. Those corners look a little dark, but not disastrously so. Alright, let's look at close-up image quality. Mirror lenses can often focus down surprisingly close to your subject, and this Tokina optic is no exception, getting you as close as 1.7 meters to your subject. At that close distance, image quality gets even softer, I'm afraid, as you can see here. Now let's see how the lens works against bright light. Well, thankfully the lens comes with that deep lens hood, because we see a number of quite unusual and abrasive flaring issues here. Keep bright lights away from your images as much as possible. And finally, bokeh. Something I didn't mention earlier is another famous characteristic of mirror lenses. Due to the shape of the lens's front glass element, the bokeh is donut shaped. Now, there are some people out there who might think that the resultantly busy out of focus backgrounds are interesting or even funny, and in a way they are, but, well, they're not for me. Overall then, well, in conclusion, it's a mirror lens. What do you want? At the end of the day, their strengths and weaknesses are pretty universal, frankly, and well known. I will say this, it is at least a little sharper than average for a mirror optic. It is just about sharp enough for high definition video work, maybe not quite 4K, but certainly high definition. It is a usable lens, affordable and nice and small. Photographers with a little patience and who are willing to shoot with it on a tripod for ease of use, which I highly recommend, can get some quite decent images out of it. Well, what do you think of mirror lenses? Would you ever get one? Let me know in the comment section below, and I want to take this opportunity again to say a huge thank you to everyone who supports this channel over on Patreon. Your support is keeping these free lens reviews going strong. Check out the link in the description below where Patreoners can find all kinds of bonus exclusive content. A bientôt tout le monde, see you next time.